and welcome everyone to our first ever episode of Light Talk.
I am your host, Rachel Vallery, and on behalf of the Light Talk team here at Ichthus School, I would like to thank you for tuning in to our podcast. So, for our first episode, we will discuss about a very interesting and timelessly debatable topic about leadership. Are leaders born or made? Are they intrinsic? Is it naturally within you like genetics? Or is it something that is built, something that you hone as a skill? Now, before we dive into our podcast, into our discussion, I would like to welcome a very special guest from our very own Ichthus family. Please welcome Miss Imelda Lapthorne.
Good morning, everybody. I'm so happy to be here today, and I'm honored to be the very first interviewee on this show.
So, Miss Imelda, we hear that you're very interested about character building, especially for children. Could you please elaborate about that?
Yes, I am very passionate about character building in children because I believe that the character building that we do as young as kindergarten, primary school, and all the way through is what sets up a person for success in their future. And it is important that they learn these values from a very young age. How to be honest, how to be a good friend,
Yes.
how to be trustworthy. All of these things are vital as they go through life.
I agree. I very much agree. Especially here at Ichthus School, we take pride in this, don't we? It's something that we really appreciate. It's something that we think is very important as the foundation of their life.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
now to start our discussion, let's start with the basics to build a certain foundation here. Now, what is leadership exactly?
Well, leadership, now that's a very good question. I think one of the main definitions of leadership is the ability to get people to work with you to achieve a common goal. So if you are able to get a group of people to follow certain instructions, follow certain protocol to achieve a vision or a goal, now that is a true leader.
I see. Okay. Now, would you call leadership a skill or character? Because I think people could confuse the two.
Yes, I think leadership is a mix of both.
I
There are
see.
those who become leaders naturally in that it's part of their characteristic.
Mm.
Maybe as they grew up they had leadership skills modeled around them all the time. But there are others who through hard work learn some of the key and core leadership skills like for example good time management or good
Okay.
communication skills. Now some people may originally have some of the basic qualities, but through hard work and learning and experience, they can build on them. So it really is a combination. Yeah.
Okay, with that in mind, let's move right into our main question. Are leaders born or made?
That is the $1 million question, and I truly believe it is a combination of both. There are those that are born who are naturally charismatic and lively leaders, but there are those who maybe in their younger days were quiet and timid, yet over time they have become great leaders as well. Because if we think back to our definition of leadership, right, is to get people to follow instructions to achieve a common goal, right?
Yes.
Maybe if your common goal was to, win a basketball tournament, then you might need one kind of leader. But if it was to lead a team through genetic research or something scientific, you need another kind of leader.
Yes.
So I think some intrinsic characteristics you might be born with or gifted with, and then you build on that, and that's how you become a great leader.
I see. So no matter if it's something naturally within you, like a talent, so to speak, it's still something that we have to build on, yes.
Yes, we definitely have to build on that. Yeah. So if you've got that
Okay.
basic building block and you work on that, that's how you become a better leader. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. I think that's a perfect explanation for it. Okay, but also, why is there so much importance given to leadership development in children?
Yes, so we do invest a lot of time in giving students the ability to grow and develop leadership. In the primary school, for example, we may notice children who naturally want to lead, and then we say, okay, they've got this ability, let's work with them. For example, we might choose them to be student ambassadors at a special event, so they get to showcase their talents. And through each time that they help out, they get to build more. And we do notice, and teachers will notice that in the classroom, each of their children have different gifts, and they want to develop them. But we also want everyone to learn some of the basic skills for leadership, because in the future, no matter what role you have, even you're a housewife, you're a leader of your house.
Very true.
If you are working in a team somewhere, you might not be the boss, but you might have to lead a team.
Yes,
So
that's
leadership skills are vital for everyone if they want to be successful in the future in the workplace.
true. Okay, seeing the importance of leadership training for children. But imagine if everyone jostles to be a leader. I don't think anything would be done ultimately. So, what to do in these sort of situations?
Actually, that's a very good question. And you will have situations where, let's say, you've gone off on a retreat and you've broken up into teams, and one team seems to have all the leaders and the
Yes.
other teams seem to maybe have the followers. But I think leaders know where their skills are. And so through an act of negotiation, they'll say, okay, maybe for this activity or this project, you're a little bit more creative, so we'll let you lead the creativity side.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll probably lead the finance side. But maybe my skill in leadership is more to do with managing finance.
Okay.
But work together as a team. Even leaders working together can achieve a greater goal.
That's
Yeah.
true. So there is some importance for leaders also to know their own role as a leader. Even leaders have their own roles and their own parts, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
also being humble enough to listen and follow. That's one of the characteristics, one of the character values I think that is important in leadership training.
Yes, you hit right on that spot, and that comes into servant leadership as well. I think a lot of times people want to be a leader because they think, oh, I'll be at the top, I'll be the best. But actually, we have to follow examples of great leaders like Jesus Christ, right? He was
So
an
true.
amazing leader. Yet he went down, he was a servant as well, he served others. So I think one great characteristic for a leader is to notice needs and make sure that those needs are fulfilled. And I think that's something that everyone does need to learn, because maybe the world tells us, oh, you've got to be the boss. But actually, a leader does not have to be the boss. You could be a leader in your own circle by
Yes.
serving others. You're still a leader. And all types of leadership, very important.
Yes, I agree. I guess some people would picture a leader to be someone commanding, someone who gives orders, someone who is assertive, maybe even extroverted, but those are not all the traits that define what a leader is, right? Are there some leaders out there who succeed even though their characters are not seemingly extroverted or strong, you know?
Yes, I think there are a lot of leaders like that. I think of, well, of course, I think of Jesus, but he was both. You know, he could
Oh,
be a
yes.
servant leader, he could also be an assertive leader. Maybe Mother Teresa, she was a leader in
Yes.
fighting against poverty, and
True.
her legacy lives down to today. Maybe I think of Bill Gates. When he shares his story, actually, when he was in high school and back then, he wasn't the leader. He was a geek, right?
Oh, yes.
Yet he
That's
followed
the
his
idea of
yeah
his image, yeah.
he followed his passion, and now he's a world leader in so many areas. So I think it's really a matter of having that passion and that goal. So that's what makes you a leader, in that you can help others achieve a goal. And the goal doesn't have to be this or this, it is whatever your goal is set. But if you have people who are happy to follow and achieve that, then you're a good leader.
Thank you so much. I agree with that. Now, regarding our current situation with the pandemic, we are thrust even deeper into a digital era, into a digital age. Everything is done digitally now, even when we socialize with people. It's through virtual communication, right? Now, most children are digital natives now, and they think and learn and perceive the world differently than we do, or older generations, right? Now, how do you implement leadership training to this generation?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's true. Our students these days may even be better at IT than their teachers. You know, they know how to
Yes.
do everything, they can run new programs, and they learn things quickly. But they do also know, leaders also need to be able to share an idea, teach an idea, and get people to follow. And so within the classroom, you will have those who are even better at IT than others. And you give them that opportunity to guide and help the other students. So there's still a lot of opportunity for them to be a leader. And some teachers are even, okay, student, you could teach me about this new app. You could
Oh,
tell me what is TikTok all about, for example. And so
sharing cultures, yeah.
yeah, so students have that opportunity to be a leader, even on Zoom. They have that chance to share their ideas and things, and they have so many amazing ideas. So actually, on
True.
in the digital age, it's probably sped up the process of
Mm.
becoming a leader in some ways, but a different kind of leader as well. And I think when it's online, you don't have to be like a real extrovert. You could be a really quiet person, and
True.
yet you're okay to do a chat message and teach people that way, and that's how you show your leadership skills.
I see. So even the littlest things, the tiniest things, can actually help you to grow to be a leader. I think
Yeah.
it's all about that confidence, yeah.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
all about that confidence. And I'm sure Ichthus also, they strive to make these children that physically they've never met, but they try to build a relationship, right, with the children. And I think in this pandemic, in this era, this is something that all schools, including Ichthus, try to overcome. But has leadership training been effective in this sort of situation? What do you think?
Yeah, so it is made it difficult in the beginning, especially you don't see the kids in your classroom, like when they're
Mm.
physically in the classroom. You can notice leaders in that there might be the person who noticed, oh, the board needs cleaning, I'll volunteer. So
Oh,
it
yes.
starts from volunteering to clean the board. Those kind of acts show that this person is willing to maybe step out, volunteer. And I
Mm.
think those are the students who later become leaders. They start by volunteering, handing out pieces of paper. Can I run a message to the office? So when it's on Zoom, it's a little bit more complicated, but it'll be the kids who are more willing to have their cameras on, to share an idea or to
Mm.
type an answer in. And then the teachers who notice this, they usually, like if we have an event coming up, the teachers might give us a name of a student who would be a good ambassador.
Mm.
And so during this online time, we've mainly used the students for online events or MCs at specific school events. So we get to train them up as leaders that way.
Okay, I think that's very insightful. Not only do the little things can help these children and even all of us as adults, but even in the digital era, it somehow reels in the children to have some sort of communication, judging from what you said just
Mhm.
now. So, with that being said, with everything that we know now about leadership is something that we have to practice, and it could be something naturally inside you still. But what is the big picture, the common misconception about leaders being born or made?
Yes, it is a big misconception. Some people think it's either one or the other, but actually I still strongly believe it's a bit of both. You need to have the innate building blocks as a gift within you,
I
and
agree.
then you need to build them and grow them through your life experiences at school, in the workplace. There are many opportunities to build these skills, and those that build them well and keep working on them, they will find that they naturally have followers, and then they are the ones who become the leaders of the future.
Thank you so much, Miss Imelda, for everything. It was very insightful. And I think it was also such a pleasure to talk with you. So I hope in the next episode, maybe you could also be our guest next time, talking about character building. It's always something that Ichthus is very passionate about. It's, in fact, one of our core values that we hold, that we try to implement to our children to not only be leaders, but also servant leaders for the glory of God. With that being said, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I hope you had a very wonderful day, and thank you so much for listening to us. This is Rachel Vallery and you are listening to Light Talk.